Good day. We are Aguhon PH, the team on leadership development, and we are here to present to you our plans for governance collaboration. We envision ourselves taking a part in the direction of leadership in our communities and our country 5, 10, or 20 years and beyond, in cognizance that to mold leaders is a long-time endeavor we must pursue together, employing a whole of society approach. To turn that vision into a reality, we seek to be very active in introducing pioneering ideas and catalyzing meaningful public discourse on the many subjects of leadership, and we recognize that Aguhon PH cannot do this alone. Hence, we are very much looking forward to a multi-sectoral collaboration with the public and private sector, the academe, and the civil society to ensure that the goals we set forth will be achieved and sustained over the years. The collaboration opportunities we would like to offer are buttressed on three major goals. First, we aim for being multi-sectoral, such that we create among the various aforementioned sectors a network, or more aptly, a community where we provide opportunities, openly communicate with one another, and collaborate our best practices and our worst dilemmas for each of us to benefit and contribute. Second, by being together, we would be more effective and efficient in molding a new breed of leaders. Know that we are talking about a whole new generation of our youth that would be our leaders in the next years to come. It is one of our ultimate goals to positively influence them, if not mold them, to take on leadership opportunities in the future. Third, what is lacking in all current conventional leadership development efforts, especially in the country, is the adequate grasp of the very fundamental concepts of what is leadership in our context. We aim to get to the bottom of what is Filipino leadership, a coherent leadership framework that best suits and will best work in our country's affairs. Our potential partners span across the many sectors of our society. We would like to take off primarily with the youth development offices and centers all across the different cities, since their mandate is the youth's welfare, which we hope to steer to leadership initiatives and development. The same is true for the Sangguniang Kabataan or SK, which exists in every locality as the youth's bastion for leadership and governance. The academies such as UP-NCPAG and Ateneo will also be our partners, especially for our research endeavors, knowing that these institutions are the ones which have been heralding numerous capacity-building activities over these years. Private sectors, some of them even have their own leadership centers like Franklin Covey Philippine Center for Leadership and Change, will be of great help not only for their resources, but also for their knowledge, which places primacy on managerial skills beyond public sector leadership, which is all the more insightful and equally important. Last but not the least, to encompass as many strata of our society, we are very much looking forward to civil society such as NGOs like National Society of Parliamentarians and think tanks like the Institute for Leadership, Empowerment, and Democracy, or ILEAD, to be our partners as we look forward to engaging grassroots movements with the central idea that leadership is everyone's business, both in the private and public domains. Why pursue this collaboration? We have 6 major answers for that. 1. Having partners and this community itself exponentially increases the reach of our advocacy and initiative for leadership development, as each of us serves as a multiplier. Thereby, we could reach as many as possible and make meaningful development together. 2. We become co-learners, as this collaboration is not only for the resources, but as well as for the sharing of our knowledge on best practices and how to manage challenges. 3. By connecting, for instance, the academe and the private sector with the youth development offices and councils and the SK, we are able to commence a synergy that will empower the youth more with competencies they need and the passion to serve. 4. Unlike other partnerships, what we offer is a sustainable platform for collaboration, akin to a network that will remain steadfast to our shared vision, mission, and goals for leadership development. 5. As we capacitate the leaders of today and tomorrow, we are also building each other's capacity, knowing that the path to leadership development is long-term. And 6, by doing all these things, the greatest return on investment is that we are able to stimulate civic engagement, such as with our youth and our grassroots communities, and we will further translate that to civic commitment through our long-term collaboration, such as in the form of leadership development capacity building events, a shared community, and leadership initiatives and opportunities, which we have also encapsulated in one of our initiatives, the civic startup application we call Kabataan.
Aguhon PH will start by adopting a snowflake structure wherein each member of our core team will be taking care of an aspect. For example, administration and finance, research and development, marketing and externals, legal, operations. Each person will reach out to different persons who are interested in becoming consultants and volunteers. Each person will then synthesize ideas and outputs from their respective areas and will report back to the core team for synchronization of activities. The core team will reach to both private and public sectors to partner with the goal of institutionalizing arrangements towards the creation of long-term leadership development projects. As the partnership between the government and us progresses, it will also start adopting more permanent members into the core team while still maintaining its network of volunteers and consultants. Our team believes that for the first year, 2021, the most essential priority is to build the team and our network. As leadership is founded on the people, it is very important to ensure that the core team is composed of well-rounded professionals who share the same Aguhon vision. For the next 2 years until 2023, consultations will be done simultaneously with synchronization activities held regularly to develop a united multi-sectoral partnerships. During this period, it will also start developing Kabataan, our flagship project that incorporates leadership development in the metro to a powerful mobile app. Both our partners and the general public will benefit from this application. For the next year, 2024 to 2025, Aguhon will start pilot testing its projects and activities, including the launch of Kabataan. Until 2030, the team will ensure the continuation and development of its current and future activities, which includes the expansion of Kabataan to other metropolitan areas and regions. Looking forward after 2030, institutional arrangements between Aguhon and its other partners will be finalized because our partners benefit from the mutual collaboration and support they get for being part of the Aguhon network. Aguhon PH, as with any other organization, faces the risk of having to ensure the adequate flow of resources for its day-to-day operations as well as to develop its strategic long-term planning. First of all, the biggest risk for Aguhon PH is its reliance on the network of people and organizations it's able to build. During its first years, it will need capable and committed volunteers and consultants to make sure that the vision is achieved. However, we also acknowledge that as Aguhon PH expands over time, it will need to set up a regular workforce that will be able to commit to achieving the organization's vision and handle its operations. Volunteers alone will not be enough to fully sustain the growth and expansion of Aguhon, as generally they have limited capabilities and lesser commitment. Further, Aguhon PH has to improve its credibility over time so that others will see it as an organization championing leadership development through its projects and programs. It has to overcome the risk of not being unique. It has to prove itself as an organization that can bring together the members of its network and promote fruitful collaboration among themselves, giving mutual benefit and partnership to everyone within its reach. Aguhon PH recognizes people as its foremost resources, so it places great importance on building its team and network. Adopting a snowflake structure, it primarily needs human resources of both full-time and volunteer staff in the following areas: administration, finance, research and development, marketing and externals, legal, operations, and trainee. To fully cultivate its staff, efficient management practices will be the norm. It will also strive to cultivate its network to be a hub of opportunities and growth for its members. For funding, it will look for public and private sponsors that are willing to fund its projects and activities. In return, partners again will benefit from the exposure and network that Aguhon PH will build. It will also rely from the endorsement of academic institutions, local government units, as well as the Metro Manila Development Authority for it to be able to expand its projects to the different sectors within the network. For Aguhon PH to expand and achieve its vision, it recognizes the authorizers along the way, which it has to partner with and get support from. First, it will start with UP-NCPAG, the country's primary institution for public administration, as well as one of its sub-agencies, the Center for Leadership, Citizenship, and Democracy, or CLCD, focuses on leadership. Together with these two critical partners from the academe, Aguhon will establish its strategic roadmap and partnership plans for the future. After finalizing its plans and building a core team, it will start to reach out to different NGOs and youth groups in Metro Manila. The core team will start to build its network here by gathering volunteers and consultants from these organizations, and further present its projects to them for pilot testing of its future project. Afterwards, it will seek endorsement from the youth development offices of the different LGUs, as well as the Sangguniang Kabataan of the cities. Establishing a partnership with government offices will help Aguhon to bring its agenda and projects to the grassroots level and help connect them more with the youth. By ensuring the consistent growth of this network, Aguhon eventually aims for the endorsement of LGUs and national government agencies. By landing its self-recognition as promoter of leadership, it will be able to gain more opportunities and partnerships.
And for the decade milestones, in 2030, there will be an established leadership development programs in Quezon City that caters to the needs of the people. We seek to contribute to the strengthening of our collective visions for the Filipino and for the youth by incorporating leadership development programs that are essential in these challenging times. We enjoin all state duty bearers at the national and local levels to maximize the participation of the youth in nation building as responsible and proactive citizens. It informs our developmental partners such as civil society and non-government organizations, international and national donors, the church, media, and the business community of the rewarding social, economic, and ethical opportunities of fully engaging the youth in their respective programs. In 2040, a strong leadership institution that molds young and competitive leaders will be launched together with its acclaimed partners. We seek to produce enabled, involved, empowered, and patriotic leaders realizing their aspirations anchored on service with integrity and compassion. We seek to mobilize leadership development programs through collaboration and a wide array of partnerships that will strengthen Filipino leaders that promote programs and policies in making the Filipino and the youth who are healthy, educated, patriotic, globally competitive, and active in taking the leadership role through government and civil society participation. In 2050, Aguhon PH, together with its partners, respond to the call of international goals that produces globally competitive leaders. Relatively, we also seek to coordinate with all youth-related affairs of the government and civil society in the implementation of the government's national and international agendas. Leadership programs capacitating our young leaders to respond holistically to the challenges of health, education, the standard of living, employment, environmental protection and improvement, competencies and resilience with advanced managerial and technological skills, and global mobility will sustain the strengthening efforts of this collaboration to forward the call in effective and efficient leadership, not just in the country, but in the world. For the preferred futures in 2050, by 2050, Quezon City is not just the city of stars, but also the city of leaders. A city where there's no scarcity of effective and resilient leaders, leaders who are flexible and future-oriented, and leadership development programs that are continuing and progressive in nature. As we envisioned, Aguhon PH will serve as a hub for government and non-government initiatives, not just in Quezon City, but all around the metro, including provinces and different localities where volunteers, organizations, businesses, and the youth can participate in championing leadership development programs, not just in the Philippines, but in the world. For the impact, this partnership and collaboration will benefit not just the youth, but the whole society in general, capacitating our young leaders and molding them to become leaders of tomorrow that upholds integrity, efficiency, and effectiveness in service can make a great impact on how this nation could move forward in the coming years. Since we consider participation and collaboration as a key concept of the development of leadership programs not just in Quezon City, but in the Philippines, we seek to enable, promote, and ensure the partners' active, meaningful, and holistic participation in society in furtherance of our collective agenda. Metrics for the effectiveness of participation and collaboration as a trailblazer of leadership development programs is 1. The number of accredited partnered organizations, 2. The number of leadership development programs initiatives, 3. The number of successful connections made between resources, partnered groups, youth groups, government agencies, and volunteers, and 4. The number of young leaders who took leadership roles and responsibilities. The success of championing leadership development programs rests in the cooperation of national, regional, and local government agencies, local government units, civil society organizations, local youth development offices, and youth groups that will be implementing the significant leadership development programs to the people. Now, let's move on to the indicators. In household level indicators, young kids are familiar with the concept of the Filipino leader and its essential characteristics, which are based in our unique history. Children who know their rights, their responsibilities, and their ambitions as a Filipino citizen to be part of the nation building through active participation and learning youth leadership dynamics. In the barangay level indicators, the Sangguniang Kabataan or the SK leaders are provided with a clear direction of their mandate and functions. The SK is empowered because they are trained to lead and has access to a network of possible organizations and institutions who are willing to partner with them on their projects. And city-level indicators, QCYDO and QCLGU gives endorsements to the partnership. And QC residents are aware of a centralized network or body on leadership. And metropolis level indicators, institutional arrangements are made with universities and organizations within the metro. Programs are now intercity, and cities have signed their support for the partnership. And lastly, in rural periphery indicators, rural-based companies and organizations enter as partners, offering programs and opportunities for the citizens within their community. They also benefit from best practices coming from the urban setting through a comprehensive collaboration where leaders from the urban and rural areas will learn from each other on championing leadership development programs within their respective communities.
We in Aguhon PH are very much looking forward to collaborating with you beyond the borders of our cities and towards metropolis governance collaboration. Thank you very much.